Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Well, things may have escalated a little quickly here because I am now missing the front wheel off my bike. The apes are kind of sitting in place just to get an idea of what they're going to look like. But more importantly, like I said, I have no forks. My forks are now laying on the ground right here, and they are in need of a really good sanding and polishing. As you can see, they're just really oxidized and, well, generally ugly looking. So next up on the plate is going to be to get these things looking a little bit better than they do, because the goal is to get that tire back on there. I know a lot of people would be so okay with leaving their motorcycle sitting around like this, but I am not one of those people. I get a little nervous when stuff isn't, able to be supported by its own weight. So, yeah, I'm looking to get this wheel back on this bike, at least so I can have it, sitting straight and continue on with this fairing conversion. The bars, I like them. I definitely don't hate them. They're cool looking. I don't think they're exactly in the right spot. And again, I really won't know what the right spot is until I start to mount this fairing. But that's neither here nor there, because I have a bigger issue in front of me, and that's, like I said, to get the forks back on the bike. So I've also ordered new fork boots, and I was egged on by a friend to do that. I was actually going to leave these, and he told me while I was here that I should probably just go with it and order some. So I did. I actually ordered 2 sets because I couldn't make up my mind. So one set is chrome with some cutouts, and they're, they would play really nicely off of these aluminum forks, which are going to look pretty much like polished aluminum when I'm done with them. But then I also bought another set that are like black. They're like a flat black with the cutouts. And so basically I'm just going to hold the 2 up and see which one looks the best, and then probably send the other one back. But first things first, I have a slight mess on the bench here and a bunch of parts in my way. So I'm going to get this all kind of cleaned up and clutter-free so that I can get these forks up on my bench and start going through the processes of sanding and buffing on them. So let me get set up and I'll be right back with you. All right, so I'm feeling a whole lot better about that. Shop's cleaned up to the point now where I feel like I can actually move around in here. And that's one of the downsides to having a single bay garage, is just no room. So, all right, so the first thing I'm going to do in order to try to make these things look a little bit better is I'm going to start off by sanding them. And I'm going to sand them with wet sanding paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a lower grit and then just kind of work through the secessions up until I get to, a higher grit, something that will be able to be polished and not show any scratches. So I'm going to start off with 80 grit sandpaper. Just kidding, not even close. I'm going to start off with 600 grit sandpaper, 600 grit wet, and I'm going to go ahead and just try to remove all of the, well, what looks like, I'm assuming clear coat from the factory. This looks like they were cleared over, and that's kind of how you get those kind of, when you get breaks in the clear and you get water underneath there, and then it starts the oxidation process, and then you start seeing that. You see that a lot on wheels, car wheels. And that's, usually where someone's, pounded some wheel weights on or something, where it'll kind of cut into the clear coat a little bit. And then over time, stuff gets underneath there, causes the clear to not adhere to the surface anymore. And then you end up with, you got all that oxidation and bubbling, and before you know it, everything just looks like crap. So this would be most likely from, obviously, rocks and stuff hitting, and that's where you get that kind of a look from. So I'm going to start off with some 600 wet. I got some nice warm water. I'm a big fan of throwing just like a pump of hand soap in there, like one little squirt. The reason for that is because the soap kind of gives it a little bit of lubrication property, so it kind of helps it out a little. Now, I'm not looking to take every gouge out of this entire fork. This isn't a show bike. I'm not looking to make it look like a showpiece. I'm just trying to make it look a little bit better than it does. But you can see already the amount of stuff that's just kind of sanding off of this. This fork is now covered in gray sludge, which will soon make its way through this towel and onto the top of my toolbox, but that's all right because the toolbox needed a good cleaning anyway. So I'm gonna sit here and just kind of work through this, and once I have the whole thing sanded with 6, just gonna bump it up the steps and go until I'm confident that I'll be able to buff out whatever's left. So catch you in a few minutes. All right, so I'll give you a quick look. This is what's starting to happen. So this is what we're looking for right here. We want everything to just kind of level out nice, and you can see a lot of these fine scratches are coming out. Now this right here is actually the way it's made from the factory. They polish these before they, I don't want to say they polish them, but they abrade them and smooth them out before it gets polished and then cleared. So we're trying to get rid of, I'm not going to be able to get rid of this. I mean, I could, but my arms would probably fall off long before that it was ever gone. So I'm not going for that. I'm just trying to get rid of the remainder of all this stuff and get down to this right here so I can start polishing it. Like, that's going to be the starts of a really nice surface for a polished aluminum. Anyway, back at it. Okay, give you a little idea what we're going with now, what we got. This is after the 600. It's got a nice gleam to it. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, most guys would probably go in here and all the corners and everything. I'm not going that crazy with it. I was actually quite surprised. Just by hand, I was able to knock down a lot of that roughness there that was on the corners. So with that gone, it's going to make it look that much more flat. So I'm pretty happy with this at 600 grit. So I'm now going to jump up to 800 grit with this. Go over it real quick with 800, and I'll get back to you. Just finished with 800 grit and on to 1,000. I think I'm going to go from 1,000 to probably 1,500, and I'm probably going to stop at like 2,500. I think that'd probably be close enough. From there, then we'll start the polishing process. Okay, so this is the finished product as far as sanding goes. So comparatively speaking, there's 2,500 grit right there, pretty much ready to be rubbed out, versus nothing. Give an idea of exactly how nice this thing's gonna look once I start buffing on it. All right, I'm gonna get set up and get ready to start polishing this. Okay, so I got everything all set up, ready to go here as far as the buffing part goes. I've been doing this quite a while, buffed a lot of stuff, and this seems to work the best for me. When I first started out, obviously, you know, battery-powered stuff just wasn't even really a thing. It was air or nothing, or you had an electric buffer. But since stuff like this has come out, stuff like this just kind of sits in the drawer now. I mean, again, batteries do die, but you know, you also got to listen to an air compressor chugging along while you're trying to do this, and if you don't have the, you know, big enough air compressor, you're gonna lose so much air all the time. It's always gonna be running, and it can just be a pain in the butt. So for this is what I'm gonna use. Bought this through Milwaukee a couple of years ago. This thing works great. It is a little power hungry. It does like to use a lot of battery power, but if you're going to get the job done, I mean, you're going to need backup batteries. So I use this, and when I'm doing aluminum, I got to tell you, I really like Blue Magic metal polish. This stuff is really good. It's good if you're just using it with a rag, but it's also works really well with a buff wheel. I use a wool pad. This wool pad's about had it, but it'd probably be good enough for this. But a little bit of this stuff, and I found just kind of mix it up with a paint paddle, and I can tell you the stuff smells absolutely horrible. It's got a hard ammonia smell to it, but it's very, very effective. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this stuff. I got a fresh can. This is an old one, but we'll try to make do with it. So what I like to do is just put a little bit on the pad so that it's not all over the place. Take your buffer, start in very, very slowly. Work the stuff around first before you pull the trigger. If not, you're going to be, well, showered in this stuff pretty much. And that'll be more than enough to do a huge area. You will see that this stuff does work in really quickly. I'm going to start off nice and slow. And once you start seeing the shine produce, that's where the money is. We'll go in. I'm going to hit up a spot right real quick here. So give me a minute here, and I'll go ahead and get a section of this buffed up so you can see exactly what it looks like. So I sped that up, obviously, but elapsed time was probably about 4 minutes, right? So just going over it really quickly and rubbing through it. It's going to need obviously a little bit more, but to give you an idea, it's really starting to take on a very nice polished look, good reflective properties. So I'm going to keep going on this thing and give you a look at it when it's finished. Okay, so for a side-by-side comparison, this would be the finished product on the first one versus the original from the factory. That's probably about 45 minutes worth of polishing using the Blue Magic polish cream, the buff wheel, and a lot of elbow grease. All right, on to the second one. Well, as luck would have it, while I was polishing these, my packages showed up. So both my fork boots showed up, so I can make a comparison and figure out which one I'm going to use. I have both of the forks polished, and I've kind of just set them in there just to get an idea of what they will look like. As much as I like the chrome, I think I'm going to go with the black. I have black exhaust tips on the bike, and I really think the black kind of maybe sets off the polished aluminum a little bit better. So I think I'm going to go with that. All right, so I'm going to start getting those things changed out and get these forks back on the bike. Sorry about that glitch in the time lapse. Evidently I must have hit pause when I thought I didn't, and missed the first fork going on, but give you an idea of what these look like back together. Really came out good, I think. And I'm actually really happy I went with the black now that I see it on the bike itself. So, pretty sweet. All right, now I'm going to work on polishing up my front wheel a little bit better and start reassembling the front of this so I can get it touching the ground again. All right, so I got the wheels cleaned up. Anybody that's rocking these Harley wagon wheel rims knows how bad the outer rim can get on these, the ring. They get all crapped up with, sludge and whatever from the road. I use like a 3-pronged attack to clean it. Combination of Never Dull, which works really well, the mother's power metal polish for aluminum, as well as good old quadruple aught steel wool. This actually works the best for removing all the gunk and everything that's on there from the road. And then I just usually follow up, like I said, with the Never Dull, and then coat it with that the power metal. The stuff works pretty good. Rim looks great, so time to get it back on the bike. Alright, so one of the bad things about suffering from mild OCD like I do is, well, you just can't leave well enough alone. So I figure while I already have the fender off the bike, it's probably a good time to hit it up with a buffer and you know, a little bit of compound and some polish before it goes back on. Just makes sense. So I'm a big fan of Presta. Presta makes really good stuff. They got a two-step process, works really well. So I'm going to hit that up with some compound just to bring the shine back, and then follow it up with some polish and a little bit of wax before I slip the fender up into the forks. Seems like the right thing to do. So okay, so this thing's looking way better after that two-step process. Gonna follow it up with some Chemical Guys butter wet wax. This stuff works really well. Buy the applicators. You can buy the wax right at like Walmart. You can also get it through Amazon, eBay. Really good stuff, and use it on my bike. I use it on my vehicles. Best part about it is it smells great. So I'm gonna throw a quick coat of that on here and get ready to slip the fender back into the back in between the forks. All right, all done. Not bad for original 2004 paint. I mean, obviously it's got a few blemishes and stuff here and there, but for the most part, it's, I'd say, a pretty good reflection. You can see my bald head. Nice. All right, get it back on the bike. All right, everything's back together, torqued down, ready to go. I couldn't be happier with the way these forks turned out. The front of this bike looks amazing. I'm really digging it. And speaking of digging it, if you're digging these videos, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. You know, like the video, comment, subscribe. Subscribing would be awesome. And I'll see you next time when we continue with this project. Have a good one.